Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live lesson today. It's really nice to see lots of you already waiting. Lots of you already in the chat. That's amazing. My name's Lizzie. If you haven't seen a live lesson with me before we get started, please can you just let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay and if you can see me okay. I don't want to get started and then there's problems and you've missed all of the lesson. And I'll just check the chat, so please let me know and we'll see who's joining today. Hi, Mina. Hello. Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for wishing everyone a Happy New Year. Hello, we have the one from Brazil. You can hear and see okay. Someone said it's a bit choppy. Is anyone else having issues? Just so I can work out if it's a problem on my side or yours, Jack. Hopefully yours. Sorry, not hopefully for you, but hopefully for me. Okay, I think everyone else seems to be finding it okay. We've got lots of people from Turkey. We've got lots of people from India, Istanbul, Brazil. Wow, lots of people joining. Amazing. So yeah, Happy New Year. We missed you over the period where we took a bit of a break for the holidays. So we had a little break, and actually it was me that you saw the last time. And this is our first lesson of 2024. So I'd just like to quickly take this time to wish you a Happy New Year. And I wish you the best for 2024. Does anyone have any New Year's resolutions, any language learning goals, anything they want to achieve in this year? It's always a great time to sort of set yourself some new goals. So if learning English is a goal for you, then it's great that you guys are here. You're already, doing stuff to try and achieve that goal. You're here improving your English. Some people want to learn more languages. So we've got people who want to learn German, who want to learn Spanish. That's amazing. That's really impressive. So today we are going to talk about this topic. So we're going to talk about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs lessons are lessons which I really enjoy teaching. I really enjoy teaching phrasal verbs. I'm really enthusiastic about them. We have lots of other phrasal verbs lives on our YouTube channel. So if you enjoy this lesson, I definitely recommend, if you've not seen our other live lessons on phrasal verbs, to go and have a look at them too. So phrasal verbs, I'm just going to give you a quick introduction into what they are and why we should bother learning them. Why are they important to learn? So phrasal verbs, if you don't already know, they are phrases or combination of words which are made up of a verb and then a preposition. Sometimes more than one preposition, actually. Now, the reason that phrasal verbs are important to learn are because they're used by native English teachers a lot. Native English teachers, native English speakers, and teachers. They're used by English speakers a lot, okay? They're really, really commonly used. And if you learn phrasal verbs, your English will sound a lot more natural because it's how a lot of English speakers communicate. And also it will help you to understand English speakers because they are going to be using phrasal verbs. So even if you yourself don't want to use phrasal verbs, that's okay. You can always find another verb or another way of saying what you want to say without the phrasal verb. However, if an English speaker is using a phrasal verb, you need to be able to understand what they're saying. And also, if you do decide you want to use phrasal verbs, it will help your English sound more natural. I remember I've sometimes done an activity with my students in a lesson where we have two texts, and one of the texts, like they're very similar, okay? Both of the texts have the same meaning, but one of them uses verbs or other words, and the other text uses phrasal verbs in place of these verbs. Okay, so they have the same meanings. One's with phrasal verbs, one is without. And actually, the one with phrasal verbs usually sounds more natural to an English speaker because it's kind of just the way people would more naturally speak. It can be sometimes less formal to use phrasal verbs, but obviously, day to day, we're using less formal language, okay? We're not going to be using formal language all the time. We save really formal language for formal situations. So that's why they're important to learn. Phrasal verbs can be hard to learn, unfortunately, for some different reasons. Firstly, we have a lot of phrasal verbs, okay? There are so many because we have lots of prepositions and we have lots of verbs. And so if you think about combining these together and all the different options and combinations you can have, it gives you a lot of possibilities, okay? So that's why it can be hard. It can also be hard because one phrasal verb can have more than one meaning. In fact, usually a phrasal verb has more than one meaning. It can have 2 meanings, 3 meanings, sometimes 4 meanings, okay? So you might think, oh, it's fine, I'll just learn all the phrasal verbs. But then, so lots of them have more than one meaning. So that's even more things you need to learn. And another reason why they're quite difficult is because they can look quite similar, okay? So we could have the verb look. And then with the verb look, we can add on so many different prepositions. And you think, oh, it might change. It might mean quite a similar thing, okay? So we might have look up, look down, look around, look over, look in, look out, look through. But actually, all of these have a different meaning. And lots of these have more than one meaning. So these are reasons why it can be quite difficult. But I don't want you to stress out about it because you don't need to learn them all at once, okay? Something you can learn gradually. They can be fun to learn. They can be interesting to learn. And I would say the best way to learn them is to group them, okay? So you could either group them into phrasal verbs that use the same verb, okay? So phrasal verbs with look, like I just gave you that example. Okay, so you could group them into all the phrasal verbs with the verb look, or all the phrasal verbs with the verb make, or all the phrasal verbs with the verb get. Or you could group them by preposition. So all the phrasal verbs with the preposition by, or with the preposition on, or with the preposition over. Or another way you could group them is by topic. And I'd say this is my favorite way of grouping them. But it really depends on you, okay? You can choose whichever way you think would make sense to you. But a good way to do it is by topic, okay? So you're like, okay, on this topic, if I'm talking about this thing, these are some phrasal verbs which we might use. And I'm going to do that today with this topic, family and relationships. And I'm not going to give you too many either. I just have 10 for you today. Okay, another tip for you is don't overwhelm yourself with so many phrasal verbs. Your brain can only take in so much new information every day or every week, okay? So we're going to do 10 today. I think that's a good amount for you, and it's all about family, it's all about relationships, which is a topic which comes up a lot, right? If you meet someone for the first time, often they will ask you about your family. They might ask you about relationships. So I think it's an important topic to focus on today. So I hope I haven't lost any of you there with that massive explanation about phrasal verbs, and I hope I haven't scared any of you. And just a little reminder, if you're just joining us now, which I think some of you might be, then don't worry because I'm going to post this. We'll post this on the channel at the end. So you'll have plenty of time to rewatch this as many times as you like. And also, if you think anyone else could do with this lesson, you think it might be helpful for someone else, please share it with them as well just now. Okay, so we're going to have a look at 10 phrasal verbs. I'm going to give you a chance to ask some questions at the end. I'm also going to test you on some of them as well to see how well you've understood the content. But of course, if you have any questions throughout, feel free to put them in the chat. I might miss some of them. So if I do, don't worry, I'll give you a chance at the end as well. Okay, so the first phrasal verb we have today is bring up. Bring up. Does anybody know what this means? If you already know this phrasal verb, feel free to write it in the chat. Oh, that's not the meaning anyway. This is an example sentence I've got under here. So bring up. Like grow, yeah? Very good. Kind of like grow. Raise, yeah, it's more raise. It's more raise. Thank you, Salman. Okay, I'll give you guys the example sentence and then I'll explain it to you. So my example sentence I've got is, my parents brought me up well. Okay, so it means to raise someone, to look after a child until they are an adult. Okay, so if you're an adult, you're no longer being brought up. Okay, it's to bring up is to look after a child, to raise a child until they become an adult. So in this example sentence, my parents brought me up well, it means they did a really good job of raising me. Okay, they did a really good job of looking after me. They had a really good parenting style. Okay, that's kind of what I'm saying in this example sentence. You might also say, my parents brought me up in England or in Scotland. Okay, you can say where you were brought up, where you were raised, where your parents looked after you until you were an adult. Can anyone think of another example sentence? Luan, is it right to say, I was born and brought up here? Yeah. So for example, for me, I was born in Scotland. I was also brought up in Scotland. Okay, that's where my parents raised me. But then now I'm an adult. I live in London. I'm in England now. So I was brought up by my parents in Scotland. There is a similar phrasal verb to this one, which I don't want you guys to confuse. And I was gonna do that one. Yeah, that's number 5. I'll wait and do it number 5, and then I want to explain the difference between them, okay? Because bring up, it involves a child and a carer or a parent, okay? The person who brings you up is the person who looks after you. I hope that makes sense and I haven't confused you. You'll see what I mean when I go over the other one. So some people are already talking about different meanings of this phrasal verb, and you are completely correct. And it's really good that you're thinking that way, okay? Because as I said, most phrasal verbs have more than one meaning. In this context, bring up means to raise or to look after a child until they are an adult. Bring up can also mean to bring up some food or to be sick or to vomit, like Desi has said. Thank you. Some people, has anyone else said any other meanings? No, but we've got some great example sentences. Thank you. Another meaning of bring up could mean to mention. Okay, so for example, if you bring up something, you mention it. Like, let me think of an example. Maybe someone is planning a surprise party for someone and you're seeing that person and you might say to your friend, don't bring up about the party. Don't bring up anything about the party. Don't say it. Don't mention it. Okay. So these are other meanings. I don't want you guys to get too worried about other meanings today because we're just going to stick to this topic. But it's important for you to just remember, have in your head that in different contexts, this could mean something else. But in the context of family, it means to raise or to look after. Okay, let's look at the next one. So this one is similar because I used this one to explain the one before. So I thought it could be useful to also include this one, okay? So to look after. So what does look after mean? If I said to bring up is to look after a child until it's an adult, what does look after mean? And how is it different from bring up? How are they not the same? Great, well done. Good example sentences. Yeah, to care, Salman, to care for, to take care of. Exactly. So to take care of someone. But it doesn't have to be a child until they're an adult, okay? Like bring up. It could be at any point, okay? It could be like I looked after my nephew for 2 hours, okay? It doesn't mean I'm bringing him up. I'm not raising him. I'm just looking after him. So it's usually it doesn't mean that it has to be doesn't mean that that's like your parent and it's all the time. Okay, so it could just be temporarily, okay? Or it could be if someone is sick. Often it gives the idea that someone's not feeling well. Someone's got an example here. I look after my mother. Yeah, so maybe if your mother is sick, you might need to look after her. So to take care of someone. So it could be to take care of someone because they are unwell, or it could be to take care of someone because their parent or carer is unable to at that time. So he looks after his nephew, okay? He takes care of his nephew. It doesn't mean that he's his parent. It doesn't mean he brings him up or raises him. Just means that he takes care of him sometimes, okay? Let's see. I look after my parents, monitoring someone. Yeah, so I look after my dog. Yeah, I look after my dog. I look after my cat. Yeah, that works. Okay. Please look after my cat. Yeah, for example, if you're going on holiday, you might ask a neighbor or a friend to look after your pet, to take care of them temporarily because you're unable to do so. Okay, amazing, guys. You seem to be getting it, which is great. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is to get along or get on with. So this is an example of a phrasal verb. We've got the verb get, then we've got 2 different options, okay? Sometimes people say it like this, sometimes people say it like this. The preposition along or the preposition on. And both of these are correct. And then we have another preposition, with. Get along with. So there's a couple of prepositions in this one. What does this mean? Desi, very well done. To have a good relationship with someone. Yeah, you have a friendly relationship. It means you're close to someone, you have a good relationship with them, you're sort of friends with them. So, for example, I get along well with my sister, or I get along with my sister, or I get on with my sister. It means that me and my sister, we like each other. We have a good relationship. We're close, we're friends. Maybe if we didn't have a good relationship and we weren't very close and we weren't very friendly, we might say, I don't get along with my sister. Okay, you can make it negative. Murat, I get on with my wife. That's good. I'm glad to hear. Okay. Now, some people are putting some other examples of other meanings. Someone said something about getting on the bus. That's correct. It's just a different meaning, okay? So to get on something in a different context can mean to physically get onto it, to step onto something. Okay, go in the bus, but we say on. Very good. Okay. Now let's look at something which is kind of opposite from get along, which is this one, to fall out. To fall out with someone, to fall out with a family member, perhaps. What does it mean if you fall out with someone? You might fall out with your friend as well. You might fall out with your husband, with your wife. Yeah, very good. To not speak to someone. Good. To not be friends with someone anymore. Yeah. To not like someone anymore. Yeah, good. It's like if you have an argument with someone or a disagreement with someone and you decide that you don't want to speak to them anymore. Okay? You might change your mind and you might make up with them. Okay, this is an extra phrasal verb for you. If you make up with someone, it means that you are friends again after an argument or a disagreement. You decide to talk to them again. But to fall out is to have an argument, to fight with someone. We often fall out at family parties. We often fall out at family parties. These example sentences aren't true, by the way. Some of them are. Some of them are related to me, but some of them are just random. Me and my family, we don't really fall out at family parties. I know some families that do. They'll have a family party or a gathering, and they fall out with each other. They argue and they disagree and they stop talking because they all annoy each other. But no, me and my family, we don't really fall out. I have 2 sisters and we're pretty close. We get along with each other well. We don't really fall out. Let's look at your example sentences. I fall out with my siblings. I often fall out with my brother. We usually fall out at slumber parties. Good, at slumber parties. Is it like break up with someone? Kind of, but not really, okay? So it's very similar. It's almost the same. The only difference between fall out and break up is that fall out we can use to talk about any sort of relationship. So friends, family, sisters, mum, dad, anyone. Or a colleague or boss, anyone. You can fall out with anyone. However, to break up with someone is more for romantic relationships, okay? So boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, okay? You break up. So that's the difference. I hope that helps. Okay. It means your example is wrong. What was your example? I fall out. Oh, I fall out of love. I fall out of love. Yeah, that's a different meaning, Anmo. That's like to stop loving someone, to fall out of love. That's fall out of something, okay? So that's a different phrasal verb because it's got another preposition. No, don't worry, don't worry. You're just giving us even more vocabulary, so thank you. Okay, next one is grow up. Grow up. Grow up. So, remember the one I showed you at the beginning? Bring up. Bring up, grow up. These are similar, but different. But they're similar. I don't know if that helps you. What does grow up mean? Okay, to raise. No, bring up is to raise, okay? So bring up is to raise. It's the idea that someone is taking care of you when you're a child until you're an adult. My parents raised me. My parents brought me up. You wouldn't say my parents grew me up. That would not make sense grammatically. Okay, it does not work. To grow up, yeah, it means to become older. Yeah, so to become older. So it's still the same idea of growing and getting older, going from adult to child. That's the same. The difference is it doesn't involve another person taking care of you, okay? You can grow up alone, okay? But you can't bring up alone. You need to be brought up by someone. Okay, so for example, I grew up in France. I grew up in France. So from when I was a child until I was an adult, I lived in France. That's where I grew. That's where I grew up. That's where I became older. So please give me some examples. Let me know where you guys grew up. I grew up in Scotland, okay? That's where I lived from when I was a child to being an adult. So it's very similar to bring up. Okay, but not quite. I grew up, so we'll use the simple past tense, okay? I grew up in India. Well done. Great example. I grew up in Nepal. I grew up with my friend. Yeah, so you can talk about the people that you grew up with. It doesn't just have to be the location. So I grew up with my sisters. Yeah, she grows up day by day. Very nice, Yasmin. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to show you another phrasal verb with grow, but different preposition. Okay, so here's an example of when we have the same verb, different preposition. What does this one mean? To grow apart. Have a think about what apart means, okay? So if you are apart from someone. So to grow apart. Grow, think of grow as very sort of gradual and apart. That might help you. To grow separately, yeah, kind of. If you grow apart from someone, it means that you used to be close, okay? You used to be very close. You used to spend a lot of time together, but now you don't, okay? Now you don't talk anymore. You don't see each other. But it's the idea of it being quite gradual. So it's not like you fell out. It's not like you had a big argument with them and now you don't talk to them anymore very suddenly. It gives the idea to grow apart that it's quite gradual and natural. No one's angry. It's just we were friends and now we've grown apart. We just don't really talk anymore. Okay, for example, we were close when I was younger, but we grew apart. We were close when I was younger, but we grew apart. Good. Anyone got any good examples? I grew apart, I grew apart from my best friend. Amazing. I grew apart from my parents. Yeah. Okay. Well done, guys. Are you ready for the next one? How many do we have left? We've got 4 left. You're doing so well. I'm going to give you a chance for questions at the end, so I'm sorry if I've missed any questions. As we got older, we just grew apart. That's a really nice sentence, Jalalov. Thank you. Okay. The next one is to settle down. To settle down. This kind of has 2 meanings, okay? So I've given you 2 example sentences. To settle down. I'll show you my example sentences and that might help. So the first example sentence, I want to settle down with her. I want to settle down with her. And the next one, I think I'll settle down in England. I think I'll settle down in England. So, yeah, very good. To establish somewhere, okay? So the second one, I think I'll settle down in England. It means to decide where you ultimately want to live, okay? So it's, okay, I'm going to settle down here. I'm going to stay here and live here. And it's probably going to be the place where I stay forever, where I buy a house, okay? It's more sort of permanent than traveling around a lot. I'm going to settle down in England. And this first one, I want to settle down with her. It's to get married to someone, okay? Or to sort of start a life with someone, to get married, to have children, to have a more sort of stable and steady life. It's that idea. Yeah, reside. Very good. To reside, to settle down. Now, let's just look at some sentences. My daughter wants to settle down in Canada. Good. I'll give you another example for me. So I grew up in Scotland. I'm going to use lots of phrasal verbs. I grew up in Scotland. I was brought up by my parents in Scotland. Now I live in London, but I might settle down in Scotland, okay? Ultimately, I might settle down in Scotland. So maybe in the future, I might move back to Scotland and then stay there, settle down there. Okay, that could be an example. Some of you, when I first showed you that phrasal verb, you said to calm down, okay? Settle down, to calm down. Good, that is another meaning of this. For example, if someone is very excited or stressed or noisy, and you say, right, settle down, it means to calm down. So yes, it does have another meaning, like lots of these phrasal verbs. So well done for pointing that out. Okay, I settled down in my new job. Yeah, so you can also settle down in a job. Good, good, good. Okay. If you settle down in a job, it's kind of like that job becomes more permanent and it feels more steady. The next one, to cut off. To cut off. This also has a few meanings. I'm going to give you two meanings that could sort of be used in a family context. To cut off. To cut a person off. To cut him off. To cut her off. Cut me off. To eliminate, yeah, could mean that, to eliminate. So to eliminate in a family context, to eliminate a person. Okay, so if you cut someone off, you decide that you're not going to contact them anymore. You're not going to talk to them anymore. You're not going to have a relationship with them anymore. It's very horrible. It's like to remove that person from your life, to cut them off, to not talk to them ever again. It's very permanent. It's not like fallout. If you fall out with someone, you could make up with them and become friends again. But if you cut someone off, it's like, that's it. Like, I'm cutting them off. I'm never talking to them again. And someone said the second meaning, which is to interrupt. Well done, Sune. To interrupt. So if you cut someone off, you interrupt them while they're talking. So my example sentences are, he always cuts me off, meaning he always interrupts me when I'm talking. He always cuts me off. Or the other meaning, I don't see her. She's cut me off. Okay, so I never see her anymore because she's cut me off. She never talks to me anymore. She's removed me from her life. Okay? Good. People are talking about cutting off food. You're close. If we're talking about cutting something food, if we're talking about removing food from your diet and stopping to eat something and stopping eating something anymore, or stopping smoking, for example, we use cut out, okay? I'm going to cut out meat. I'm going to stop eating meat. Or I'm going to cut out sugar. I'm going to remove sugar from my diet. Okay, the next one is to look up to. To look up to. To look up to someone. What could it mean? Very good, Maria. To admire. To admire someone, to respect someone, to idolize someone. So, for example, I always looked up to my dad. He's very intelligent. Okay? I always looked up to my dad. Is there anyone that you admired or looked up to in your family? Anyone that you always thought, you know, they're very admirable, I really respect them? It's usually someone older than you. Usually you look up to someone older than you. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, because it's not like you're looking up to someone because they're older. It's usually because they have a trait or a characteristic about them that you think is really admirable and you really respect. But we just tend to use it in family context. We tend to use it for someone older than us. So like my mum wouldn't look up to me because I'm younger than her. I always look up to Taylor Swift. Yeah, you can look up to a celebrity. That's true. Okay, I look up to my sister. That's really nice. I look up to my son. I look up to my friend. Very good. Okay, last one, and then I'm going to do a quiz to see if you've understood some of these. So the last one is to take after. To take after. If you take after someone in your family, what does it mean? Take after. Any ideas? Yeah, to look similar. It could be to look similar to someone, or it could also mean to be similar. Okay, it doesn't have to be appearance. It could be personality. It could be your character. It could be skills that you might have. Okay, it just means to be like someone, to share the same looks or personality, to be similar to someone. So to resemble someone. Thank you, Miranda. So, for example, she takes after her mum. They are both lawyers. So here it's nothing about looks. Like it's more, they're just similar because they've gone for the same job. They've gone for the same career. So she takes after her mum because she decided to do the same career as her mum. Okay, but it could be your looks. For example, everyone says, I take after my mum. Okay, how I look. I look like my mum. I take after my mum. Let's have a look at your example sentences. So, you take after your mother. Yes. My brother doesn't take after me. Well done, Murat. We use doesn't to make it negative. My brother doesn't look after me. Good. Any others? My son takes after me. Very good, Errol. Thank you. Okay, I hope that has been helpful. I hope I'm not giving you too many. Remember, you can rewatch this video as many times as you'd like if you need to go over these again. I'm just going to quickly go over them. Ugh, I'm dropping them all everywhere. I'm going to quickly go over them all one more time. Just a quick summary, and then we'll do a quiz, okay? So, where was the first one? Oh, they're all in a different order. We might just have to do them in a different order. Okay, this one, to get along with or get on with means to have a good relationship with someone, to be close to someone, okay? I might try and put them up here actually so you can see them while we're doing the quiz. That might work well. We'll see. Okay, so to get along with or get on with means to have a good relationship with someone. We just did this one, so you'll remember. To take after. To take after means to be similar to, okay? To share similar looks or personality, to be like someone else, okay? Take after. That's not going to stay there, is it? Okay. The next one, to cut off. To cut someone off means to remove them from your life, to never talk to them again, to stop talking to them, usually because you've fallen out or had an argument, okay? But yeah, never talk to someone again. To look after means to take care of someone, usually because they're sick or unwell, or maybe because the person who usually looks after them is unable to. For example, asking your neighbor or a friend to look after your pet while you're on holiday. Or maybe you look after your grandparent if they are sick. To look up to means to admire or respect or idolize. Okay. To settle down means to reside in a place, okay? So decide that you're going to stay in a certain place and live there forever, buy a house there, have a steady life there. Or it can mean to get married to someone or have children with them, have a family. To grow apart means to become less close to someone gradually. So to stop talking to them. You no longer have a relationship with them, but it's quite a gradual process. To grow up means to become older, so to go from a child to an adult. For example, I grew up in Scotland. Okay, it looks like a lot when they're all there, doesn't it? 2 more. To bring up means to look after someone or take care of someone from when they are a child until they are an adult. So to raise someone. And the last one, to fall out, which means to stop talking to someone for a period of time, to have an argument with them. But instead of cut off, which is more permanent, if you fall out with someone, you can make back up with them, okay? So to stop being friends with someone or to have an argument with them, have a disagreement, but then you might make up again, become friends again. Okay, I hope that wasn't too much there. I hope that was actually helpful doing a recap and it wasn't overwhelming. We're going to do a quick quiz, and then after the quiz, I'll give you a chance to ask some questions. So if you have any questions, just hold off until we do the quiz. I've just got 4 questions for you in the quiz, and all of them use a different phrasal verb, and it could be any of these phrasal verbs here. So I want you to decide which one you think works the best, okay? I hope you can see them. Do you want me to bring it a little bit closer? Maybe that's a bit easier for you to see. Okay. So, first one. I something with my sister because she stole my dress. What did I do with my sister? Because she stole my dress. I'm trying to move out the way so you can see all of them. Very good. Lots of you are saying the correct one. Fall out. Now be careful. Which verb tense are we using? Okay. Stole. This is the past tense. That means that we need to make sure we put the verb from the phrasal verb in the past tense. So it wouldn't be fall out, it would be fell out, which lots of you were saying, so well done. I fell out with my sister because she stole my dress, okay? I'll just put the correct answer in the chat for you so you know. I fell out. Very good. Number 2. I something my dad. We both have blue eyes. Which phrasal verb is it? And which verb tense is it? Are we using the present tense here? Look at the other verb. Or is it the past? Which tense is this? Very good. I take after my dad. And it's the present tense. Okay, me and my dad are similar. I take after. Good. Next one, number 3. I something in London, but now I live in New York. Okay, so now I live in New York, but before I something in London. And which verb tense do we need to use? So yeah, it's this one, grow up. But because we're talking about the past, I used to do this, we'd say grew up, yeah? I grew up in London. I grew up in London. Very good. Okay. Last one. I always something my goal. Something. There's 3. That might give the clue. There's 3 little spaces here. So it's going to have to be one with 3, which gives us 2 options, doesn't it? So I something my grandma because she was very intelligent and kind. And which verb tense are we using? Because remember, look at the other verb. Look at the other verb. Was. Is this the present, past, future? What tense is this? So everyone who's saying look up to, you are correct. Is it in the present tense? No. She was. Yeah, very good, Mustafa. I looked up to. I looked up to in the past tense, so ed on the end, okay? Because it's in the past. Very good. So remember, when you're using phrasal verbs, you also need to think about which verb tense you're using. So there's a lot of things to think about, I know. But you guys have done really, really well. So well done. Thank you for all your participation in today's lesson. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions, let me move this back so I'm actually in the video. If you have any questions, now's your chance. We've got a few minutes for questions, so please let me know if you have any. Sangwoo, why is there no slot for your class in 2024? Yeah, my schedule is very, very busy. I am a teacher on Cambly, but I have a very busy schedule and not many available slots. Just make sure that you keep an eye on it, or you think you can like favorite the profile. So then if I update any slots, you'll be able to see. Maybe you can't do that actually. Maybe I need to do that. But yeah, I'm sorry about that there's not any slots available right now. It might also just be because I've not updated my slots like that far in advance. So apologies for that, but there are so many teachers on Cambly. So there'll be other teachers you can schedule a lesson with, and just keep an eye on it. Let's see. Any other questions related to today's topic? No worries, Sangui. Thank you. There were some questions up here. Do these lessons go on? Yeah, so these lessons, Salman, this lesson and all of the live lessons are added to our YouTube channel. There's a playlist which has just got all of the live English lessons. And there's so much content there. There's lots of other phrasal verbs lessons, but there's so many others. I think there's also idioms about family and relationships. If you quite like this topic, you can watch that one next. And we are back to our usual schedule. So next week we'll have a live lesson on Saturday with another teacher. And so hopefully you guys are free to join that one as well. And we'll be teaching you a new topic. Okay, amazing. So yeah, very quickly, if you guys don't already use Cambly, I know some of you do, but now it's 2024. It's a great chance for you guys to, get really motivated and practice your English. And the best way to practice your English speaking skills is to speak to someone. So having an English tutor to really help you with that, or even just have a conversation with, is a really, really useful way to reach your goals and become more fluent, or be able to have a conversation, or be able to travel to an English speaking country, whatever the reason is that you're learning English. And there are lots of great teachers on Cambly, so I recommend you go and have a little look and check it out. There'll be a link below this video and below our other videos and on our YouTube channel if you want to have a look at the Cambly platform. And we look forward to seeing you next week, and I wish you all the best for 2024 as well. I'll see you guys soon for another live lesson, but please join us next week. There'll be another teacher on Saturday, and thank you for all your participation, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.